Hello, guys. How are y'all doing today? Hopefully, this broadcast went across well. Only because the tech gods don't necessarily appreciate me sometimes, and so they really like to play with my emotions. But hey, welcome to Sipping Tea with Sabrina. In just a second, we're going to be sharing the tea on donor prospect research. But if you don't know me, right, and we've never met before, my name is Sabrina Walker Hernandez, and I am the president and CEO of Supporting World Hope, a company I started after 25 years in the nonprofit industry. And I help nonprofits and small businesses build relationships that convert into revenue. And today I am going to bring on with us. I am going to bring on with us today. I'm so excited about this. Victoria Phillips. And she is going to be talking about donor prospecting. So, with that, wish me luck. I'm adding her to the stream. Here we go. Victoria's here. Yay. Thank you for being here. So, guys, this conversation is for you. And it's critical, especially if you want to grow your donor list with the right donors. And that's why we have Victoria with us. So, Victoria, I just lost your beautiful face. I told you guys the tech gods be messing with us. It never fails. So, with that in mind, Victoria, I'm not sure since I lost your face if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you perfectly. Can you
There you
see me?
go. Yes, you're back. Thank you. Thank you. I tell you these tech gods. So let's find out before we continue. Let us know if you can click the like button or anything like that. If you can hear us loud and clear and you can see us, because as you can see, the tech gods don't be playing around. Let us know where you're watching from. All those comments like that are going to help us, especially even if you're watching in the rebroadcast, because that's going to help us with the algorithms. And this is going to keep this video and this wonderful information Victoria is about to share with us, right? And so you guys know what I like to do. I got my phone going. I got StreamYard going, Victoria. I be trying to, make sure on both ends that I'm seeing everything and everything is going well. And so while I do that, Victoria, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hi, guys. And I can see you, but if you are hearing me, thank you so much for the opportunity, Sabrina, for bringing me on today to talk about an interesting topic. My name is Victoria Phillips. I'm the founder and CEO of Philip Nonprofit Consulting and the Nonprofit Daily News. So the Philip Nonprofit Consulting is a consulting firm that train nonprofit organization and also provide consulting for nonprofit that want to expand their reach, want to have more donors, and also want to have more partners. So we provide fundraising, and we also provide fundraising help. We also provide prospect research. We do a lot of mentoring for nonprofit organizations. So, and the Nonprofit Daily News is an app coming soon. Yes, it's an app coming soon that is going to be very beneficial for nonprofit. I hope Sabrina will bring me back
I
to
will,
talk
girl. You
about
know it.
the app, to talk about the app, in next when everything has been launched. So I'm excited to be here. I hope that the today meetings will be beneficial to all of you all. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. So, what I like to do before we get started, I like to shout out some people that are here. So, people wanted to hear from you. I want to shout out Brian Partee, Nikki Jackson, Jenny Daughtry. And if I butcher y'all name, forgive me. And Hanita Mambis. So Jenny, Brian, I said that. Aaron, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Fana, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. You are sharing your time, and so I want to make sure that we honor it. And so, Victoria, I have 8 questions. So I promise people when they come on here, we go through 8 questions. We're on here for about 35, 40 minutes because we're all busy, but we drop all that knowledge within that time frame. And so let's start out. You ready, Victoria?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So what are the key components of an effective prospect research strategy for a small nonprofit organization?
Absolutely. So, the key component for an effective prospect research strategy for a nonprofit organization, including identifying prospective donor, prioritizing uh, donors based on their capacity, their affinity. What I mean by affinity is maybe a donor belong to, let's say, Chamber of Commerce or is an engineer. So they have some association of engineers. So that is what I mean by affinity. And also, it also means utilizing tools, such as LinkedIn, and also so there's so many tools right now that can help to identify, to do donor prospecting. So also integrating those things you find, those are findings, integrating it into your fundraising strategies. So that is what it means to the key components. So it goes into prioritizing your donors, your prospects. At that time, they are still prospects, not yet donors, because you are looking for prospects to become donor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So identifying them based on their affinity, based on their capacity to give. Some can give, the capacity can be $5,000, capacity can be 200, basing them on those capacity to give. So those are the key components for effective donor prospecting.
Okay, you mentioned, and I know it's not one of the questions, but you opened the door. So you said LinkedIn as a tool. So I can go on LinkedIn and I can find different people. But how do I prioritize the most promising donors? Because there's a lot of people on LinkedIn.
Yes, this is a very good question, and I actually have an ebook that, because I have been asked this many questions, and LinkedIn is an important tool. Is in fact is a free tools where you can find professional. So I have an ebook that I've written on this to help people on how they can narrow the search on LinkedIn to find good prospect that can match their non-profit and people, and how to make an outreach to those donors. I have the ebook on my website, and I can drop the link if there is a chat where you
Yes.
can. Okay.
I'll pull the link and drop it for you.
Oh, okay. I can. I let me see. As I'm talking, I'll try to get the link to you,
Okay.
and then we can go from there. So that is one of the things that it's good to be able to use free tools, because there's so many tools you can use. There's a tools called Zoom, but LinkedIn is really a good way to use to get prospects that will not only be a donor, that will be a likely board members, that will also become a volunteer. Is
Okay.
also a very good tools to find organization, corporate sponsorship. It's really, but it just boil down to how do you effectively utilize LinkedIn for those.
So, what other tools and resources do you recommend for conducting efficient and accurate prospect research? Because particularly for small nonprofits who have limited resources, right? I know your ebook is going to be valuable, so I'll make sure I drop that link. And you mentioned Zoom. I'm thinking Zoom info, But I tried
Yes,
that one, girl. It was expensive.
absolutely.
So there's some other tools, particularly for small nonprofits with limited resources, that you would suggest.
Yes, yes, yes. That is really expensive. There's so many tools right now. With some people also go on it's also good to go to Google to search. These are free tools, really, or to find out from people close to their prospect. But really, LinkedIn is number one free tools that is very, very valuable because come on, over 550 million people are on LinkedIn, professional are on LinkedIn alone. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, if you are not effectively using LinkedIn, bummer, that is not too good, really. so, so
So I'm going to ask you, how do you effectively, is not one of the questions, but I'm going to ask, how do you effectively use LinkedIn?
first, you need to have a good presence on LinkedIn.
Okay.
You need to have a very good presence on LinkedIn. You need to have your organization present on LinkedIn. You need to be available on LinkedIn. Funny enough, from what I've found, LinkedIn is not as algorithm is not as intense
Mm.
as Facebook, as other social media. So it's more relaxed because they know the professional on it. So you are not required to be on it 24/7, So one of the best tools I can talk about is when you have an online presence and then you can be able to search, make a search on LinkedIn, and also segment those based on what your nonprofit is all about. So it's easy to be able to find connections that have the same interest, mutual interest with you. Maybe you work with animal shelter. It's easy to be able to go on LinkedIn to search those maybe that work with maybe let's say in here in San Diego we have Petco, those that work in the pet.
Hmm.
So it's good, easy to find those people and also to see from their own connection, people that have similar interests.
Hmm.
If you work in an animal shelter and you care about animal, maybe that is your mission. Those might be one of your best ally to start with, those that work within and also their connection, because of course they have something similar so those are the people that might be interested in your organization and in what you do. So
Hmm.
LinkedIn is a very valuable tool that you can use to be able to get those resources, and it wouldn't waste your time. You wouldn't have to, because everybody cannot be your donor, right?
Right.
So you're just looking for those particular people that will be interested. So that is the easy way to kind of narrow it down to
Okay.
people that will be interested. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So when you answered question one, you mentioned about having a development plan, and you mentioned some of those other things. So how can you integrate prospect research findings into your fundraising strategy and overall development plan?
Absolutely, that's a very good question. So, to be effectively use prospect research into your overall, it's being able to accurately pass on your message when you've identified people that are likely interested or that is a good prospect for you. It's also good to have a campaign going on, to have sort of I call it a funnel. How do I bring these people into what I am doing? And one of the good way to put them in your funnel is communication message. So one of it might be depending on the segment you have. If
Hmm.
someone is a candidate, is a prospect for major gift, if you have an office, if you have a site, it's good to invite those people to say, come for a site visit, come check out what we are doing. We have just a small number of people we are inviting, and we want you to come and check out, our site. So that's one of the ways you can, put them. And when they come, you take them on a tour on your facility. That is a very good way, or invite them for any of the events. That is a very, very good way to kind of get a foot on the door, and so that they can ask questions, they can understand the mission, and ultimately be able to give. We all know that fundraising is about relationship
Yep.
building. So it's not really right when you've gotten a prospect and you're like, give me money. We want money right now. We want money right now. But how do you become friends? How do you
Yes.
become ally? How do you communicate your mission to these people? How do they effectively understand what you are doing? How can they ask questions? They have questions. How do they ask their question? So that's draw them closer to you. So by the time you put the foot on the door, you allow them to get to know you more before you make an ask. That is ultimately how you can funnel them into your overall fundraising. And I bet you when you do this rightly, they stay for long. We've seen a lot of donor fatigue. They stay
Yes.
for long because they see themselves as friends.
Yes.
They know that their voices are being heard. You care about them, not just about the money they want to give, but they are also have a say. And that is what everybody want. We all want to belong.
Yeah.
We all want to be part of something that we felt resonate with us and where we are wanted. So not just for the money we contribute, but also for the fact that when we talk, people listen. And that is exactly what donors want.
Yes, this is awesome because you're preaching my language here. You're speaking my language. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the broadcast. I want to say that, and we're currently talking about donor prospect research, and we've covered how you can use LinkedIn. We spent quite a few amount of time on LinkedIn. I'm an advocate of LinkedIn as well, and so thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of nonprofits overlook that, and so you're going to be getting an ebook that Victoria has developed just for LinkedIn. So again, let us know where you are watching from because this is going to help us with our algorithms, right? And so keep those comments coming. So we talked about LinkedIn. We talked about donor prospects. And I also am going to say, for those that are just tuning in, the tech gods are not friendly.
Yes.
Sometimes we lose the camera, but the knowledge is still there. So, Victoria, I know you talked a lot about prospecting and LinkedIn and all that, but and you kind of went into this as well. But what are some of the best practices that you should follow when approaching and engaging new prospects that you've identified through your research? I know you talked about don't go asking people for money the first time. I want to repeat that because that's the best way to run a relationship. So, what are some of the other best practices?
Absolutely. I can't find myself again. I think something
Yeah,
is
I
wrong.
don't see you, but I can hear your knowledge. There you go. You're back.
Yes, I think I'm back here now. Well, so to your question, what are the best practices to effectively reach out to the donor? That's a very good question. So I think I've mentioned this earlier on about effective. One of it is relationship building, and also when you've done your research well about a particular person, consider fundraising as you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You wouldn't just say, this is going to be my spouse tomorrow. You're going to do some things, some background checks, like I call it. You're going to find out what do you like, where's my favorite food, what do I like to go to cinema, who are my close allies, my best colors. That is what it comes to when it comes to fundraising, because you don't want to do one touch. One touch is people that give based on sympathy and they give just once, and that is it. You want people that can give. And that is one of the things that I help my clients to build. People that can give for the rest of their life, and even when they leave, they leave a bequest for your nonprofit. It's really possible. It's just like a relationship. Some of us have friends that we've been together for 20 years. We have friends that have been together for like forever. There's something that keep that relationship going. And that is what fundraising is all about. So you first want to research, find out from a donor, if possible, some question. Why do you like to give to us? What do you like about our nonprofit? What resonates with you? What do come up with question that you can help you to understand this person. Or if you have someone close to them, that's also another way to find out. Maybe they are part of the board. Maybe a board introduce a person to your organization. Is another way to find out, to build relationship with a donor. And also, when asking a donor, make sure you are also communicating the impact. So it's not all about, oh, you've given, thank you, I'm gonna wait for some time and I'm gonna ask again. Make sure that you let them know as much as possible what their dollars have done for your nonprofit, what their contribution, out it has helped. Get the story together. This is a girl, for example. This is a girl that would needed help. She doesn't have a home, and when the money you send has helped us to put these social girls in the house. That one person, that the money has helped. That two people, that group of people that the money has helped. It's really helpful because everyone can resonate with the story of one person or two. But when you say, oh, we give
Help
to
everybody.
10,000, it's like, but tell that story of that one person, two person, or maybe a group that the money has been able to help. So that is another way that help donor to kind of stay and help the fundraising to go a long way. I know a lot of nonprofit, they are doing a lot of things. They are, the fundraising is huge. They have a lot of campaign. They have a lot of needs. But when you personalize fundraising to suit donors, and you are donor centric, that means you put donor first, it really help, in the message. They can see it, they can feel it. Just like I mentioned earlier, we have relationship. We can see those that love us, those that care about us, are ready to listen, and we can also see friends that are just all about themselves. And that is what fundraising is all about. So donor can see when we are all about the money, and they can see the passion, and when you are meeting their needs, because absolutely they have a need. And believe me or not, is a cause selling. Non-profit is, you're selling a cause. You're selling your mission. So you are selling your mission, and their needs to come first when it's time to sell your mission. So you need to meet them halfway, because hey, there are thousands and one non-profit they can give to, but when they choose to give to you, then you also need to do the homework.
And thank you. People have a choice about where they invest their hard earned dollars. And when they choose you, you have to put in the work. So, just to recap, donor prospect research, you said some key things. I know we talked about LinkedIn, but you also said board. People, don't forget that your board, right, is critical in that research, in that connection. So if you don't have the right board members that are making that connection, that's a whole nother conversation that we need to have, right? So how can we, Victoria, how can we track and measure the success of our prospects, of the prospect research efforts, and ensure, a continuous improvement in our approach? Because you said LinkedIn, you said board members, but how do you really know if it's been successful?
Good. So to track the track and measure the success of your prospect research efforts, you need to first establish a clear goal and performance. You need to know, what is your goal? Are you looking for board members? Are you looking for major donors? Are you looking for volunteers? What is your goal? What do you want to achieve? Do you want people within your vicinity to give to you, to get to know more about your nonprofit? So you need to have first establish a clear goal and have key performance indicator, the KPI. You need that relate to donor acquisition, that relate to donor retention, and also what is your average gift size. So when you have an average gift size, that helps. So that helps you to track your performance. What you at the end, maybe you want to do that every 6 months, like I do for my clients, and every 1 year if you are just getting started. That help you to know that, okay, you've actually succeed in your donor prospect, because you are able to track your key performance. You're able to track the average gift size you receive, with overall to the time spent, and also the resources, the tools that you've been using to acquire the donor. So that is how you can effectively do that. And you need to monitor these metrics over time, adjust your strategy as needed. And also LinkedIn, I'll go back to LinkedIn, as has analytic to gain insight into effectiveness of your outreach and engagement efforts. So they have those analytic that can help you analyze, your outreach and engagement effort. I have all of that in my ebook. I just dropped the link in the chat
Oh,
here.
perfect.
Yes, to my ebooks. I try as much as possible to make it easy for everyone to be able to afford to get the ebook, because honestly, you will need it to be able to get more donors and be effectively use LinkedIn. To effectively use LinkedIn, because hey, it's free and it's available wherever you are all over the world, to get to know people that have never knew you. Most of my contacts, most of my events, I just
Mhm.
post one event last week, and I was
Mhm.
sharing with you about it.
Oh,
you know
yes, it
i
was a big event. Yeah.
Yes, it was. I have always used LinkedIn. Some people call me LinkedIn Queen. I've always used LinkedIn for virtually everything. I was able to pull up professionals from San Diego here to come together to just celebrate our non-profit organization, and to give leaders, the women, gifts.
Mm.
Give them gifts for the good job they have been doing. We non-profit wear many hats, and there's
Mhm.
no one that recognize those small and mighty non-profits. So I put leaders together to give gifts to women that have been, committed into their non-profit and be doing great job, and will be then, and they're just behind the scene, doing all the great jobs. So,
Mhm.
and it was very, very successful. I posted it on my personal page, how the community come together just to say thank you to
Right.
non-profit organizations. So that is one of the ways is you can use LinkedIn for so many things, and they have a free tools that you can use to measure and track your performance.
Well, I'm going to ask you something. It's not on this list, but I've struggled with this one myself, so I'm sure others. Do you think it's worth the investment for LinkedIn? What do you call it? Navigate the
Yeah,
premium.
absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
LinkedIn has many premium program. There's one we call LinkedIn Sales Navigator,
Mhm.
and that is exactly the one that you might need to have, because the free one that everyone has is limited on so many levels on what you can do. The sales navigator, and which the ebook is really based mainly on, it's based on LinkedIn generally, but on sales navigator, if you have that, is really a worthy investment, because you can reach out to people within, there's something called in messenger. You can
Mm-hmm.
reach out to people, anyone on LinkedIn that is not within your connection, anyone with this with Sales Navigator. It can give you much more than the free version that everyone has. You can reach out to people, you can make an introduction of yourself. You can also compare yourself to other non-profits that are doing the same thing to you but are bigger than yours. You can see
Mm.
their staff, you can see where they are going, what they are doing, the people, the kind of people that follow them on LinkedIn. You can see that compared to yours, and so you can do those comparison. And
Okay.
also you can look at someone's connection up to their third connection. So it's
Okay.
really a good investment. If you can, it's really cheap for non-profit organization. All these tech giants are going after taking care of non-profits, so they have cheaper discount for non-profit
Okay.
organizations.
Okay. That's cool. We got two more questions, but Victoria, I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor. I'm gonna
Mhm.
ask you to email me directly the link to the ebook, because I got people checking in. I got Miranda on LinkedIn. I got Andrea on YouTube. I got Gloria on LinkedIn. I got people on Facebook. So I'm streaming to several platforms. So if you can email that to me, I'll make sure everybody gets it, because people are excited about that opportunity. So now, having, you're researching people on LinkedIn, you're connecting, you're doing,
Mhm.
board members and talking about people in board meetings and doing all those kinds of things. How do you maintain donor privacy and ethical standards while conducting prospect research?
That is a very good question, because some people by the way, I just sent you the link right now through.
Perfect. Yes, got it.
Just send that to you. That is a huge question. So maintaining donor privacy and making sure that you adhere to ethnical standard is critically, important in donor prospecting. So ensuring that you respect everyone's privacy. You don't look spammy, and it's really important. So individuals are privacy setting on platform like LinkedIn as high end to data collection and usage. So there is everyone has uh um settings on LinkedIn on how to set their privacy and usage. There are some people that on LinkedIn you have to provide their email address before you can connect to them.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone have set that standard. So, but transparency and open communication help to build lasting prospect. Like what I normally do when I want to reach out to someone, I put in don't I don't just send connection and said, hey, follow me or let's connect. I put in a little bit. How are you doing? This is my name is this. I know you have seen my name, but this is what I do. I would like to you to follow me on LinkedIn. I would like to connect with you on LinkedIn because I see you work at so place. I see what you do, and I think we have mutual interest. We have mutual. So is left for the person to say, okay, yes, check me out on LinkedIn because I've already put on all my details on LinkedIn. So
Right.
there's nothing hidden. You know that I am a consultant where what I do my website. So it's left for you to check me out on LinkedIn and say, yes, we have mutual interest. Victoria is talking about fundraising. I love fundraising. Let's connect. We have things we can do together. So the settings has helped people to choose who they wanted to connect with. And that helped to set the standard towards privacy and to maintain ethics in when connecting and reaching, making an outreach.
It sounds like you need to come back for LinkedIn for nonprofit training. It sounds like, because I'm like, there's so many nonprofits out there that for them, LinkedIn is kind of, we all gravitate to where we're comfortable, right? And so since
Mm,
they started out on Facebook or they started out there, that's where they are,
mm,
and not necessarily taking advantage of what LinkedIn can do for donor prospecting. And so I've seen it where they don't have a picture profile. I've seen it where they don't have the backdrop. And I will tell the people who that I interact with, you know, look, full disclosure, I'm a for-profit business. Victoria is a consultant. We're for-profit. Most of my client base is on LinkedIn.
mhm.
That's where your donor base is on LinkedIn.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because of privacy, people have moved out of other social media to LinkedIn because they
Yeah.
have high standard of privacy. You can see someone that is wanting to connect with you. You can see, you can read all about them and make your decision from there. From
Hmm.
there, if this is the right connection to make. So that has really helped people to kind of trust LinkedIn than other, especially professional, busy professional, that you might likely be your donor, might likely be the high board members you are looking for to be on the board. So that is a best way to pitch your tent, to
Hmm.
have a present, to have a robust present of your nonprofit, and also to talk when there's something going on, to share stories of what you are doing. That is really because the noise on LinkedIn is more lesser than every other social media. That social media, you see people going on vacation, even eating, and they post it on social media.
Yeah.
It has come to
Nobody cares what you're eating, but they do.
yes, you see our grandmas, they are all on the other social media platform. But LinkedIn is more professional and they have made it so. And
Yeah.
that has given a lot of leverage to nonprofit organization to effectively utilize it for their needs.
Perfect. Leads us to our last question that I have, and then I'll see if the audience has any questions. But so, can you share any success stories, right? Or case studies of small nonprofits that have effectively utilized prospect research to grow their donor database and increase their impact?
Yes, absolutely. So, being a nonprofit consultant, we have to develop strategies to help a nonprofit organization coming to us for help, and one of the ways they need more money. Of course, they are doing good job. They want more donors. They want more people on their board, and they want and so LinkedIn is one of the tools, that I turn to help my client. One of my clients, that I have, she's a very busy lady, and she work in housing. She is a one person shop. She has
Mm-hmm.
board member, but not necessarily committed board members. They just want
Yeah.
to just sleep. And I
Yeah.
know the same story. Most nonprofits can resonate with this. They have sleeping board members that are not, they're just there for the record. So when we got started, I said the first thing we need to do is to find you committed people that will want to be on your board, because not being running a non-profit is not what only you can do. Yes, you want to save the world, you want to provide more shelter, you want to provide shelter for this young single mother, but you can do it alone by yourself. You need board member. And so we went on a map. Normally, what I used to help my clients with, I have a 6-month program, a
Mm-hmm.
1-year program to help them. And one of the first 2 months is donor acquisition, strategies. So one of our strategies is using LinkedIn to find more board members that can come on board, that can also be a paid board members. We want some people that can pay and can afford it, and also have affinity within the housing sector, where
Mm-hmm.
she lived. We don't want board member far away. And so we use LinkedIn to do that. Effectively, we're able to get people that want to be on board. Where our goal was to recruit 6 new board member based on our bylaw. We're able to recruit 6, and we have 3, 4 people on the pipeline, and they were
Mm-hmm.
all paid board members, and that's
Mm-hmm.
really set the tone,
Mm-hmm.
helping her,
Mm-hmm.
relieving her a lot. So with that, we set up on an individual giving plan, and those board member, of course, help bring in more people that are giving on a monthly basis
Right.
on an individual on a monthly giving program. So that helps. So having a strategy, having this it's what works, and also knowing what you want. If you
Mm-hmm.
want board members, you have to go for it. Plan what you want, and so that will help in the outreach. Make a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to have what sets the standard, what you want, and the kind of people that you want. So yes, there's thousands, hundreds. Who do you think you want? How do you make the outreach? So when you have all of these, it's really, really helpful.
It's very helpful having a plan and knowing what you want. Just like you said, do you want board members? Do you want volunteers? Do you want what is it that you want? And then move forward with that. And so right now, I promise Victoria we'll be out of here by 12:45. So it's 12:42, right? On my time. She's a different time zone. So I want to check and see if there are any questions, if anybody have any questions. I know some people said it's great information. I'm seeing that. But if you don't have any questions, I'll give it a few more minutes here so that we can take a couple of them. And I'm looking at several blocks. So, but most people have questions on fundraising. You know that, Victoria, right?
Yeah.
So let's give your quickest tip on fundraising. I'll give my quickest tip on fundraising, and then we'll go from there. So give me your quickest tip on fundraising.
My quickest tip on fundraising.
That's going to make the most impact.
That will make the most impact. Okay. Okay. My quickest tip on fundraising that will make a great impact is, do you have a fundraising plan? It's important. I know that non-profits need money to run their mission. Money is critical, and grant is getting difficult by the day, because every day, believe me, everybody is writing grant. You're writing the same grant, and we have few foundations, giving to non-profit. The other time I was looking at my community to search for, all this private foundation. And I'm like, when is another one? When was the last time we have a private foundation, established? And it's been like 4 or 5 years that the new private foundation, got started. So that means throughout last year there was no new ones,
Right.
but there is new non-profits. Do you see that? So that means they are getting crowded. They are getting crowded, and there's much more need than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. There are more need actually right now.
Yeah.
So what I would say on top of my head right now is having a plan, a fundraising plan, and stick to it. I know non-profit have plan. Oh yes, Victoria, we plan to do this, we plan to do that, we want to. I've seen it, I've heard it so many times. But do you stick to the plan that you have? Do you go back and kind of look at it and work on it step by step. And when you have a plan, do you take it to a consultant like Sabrina? This is my plan. Can we take a look at it together?
Yeah. So, Victoria, we do got
Can
one
we take a
question.
look at my plan together?
And
So when you
make it make
have that
sense.
plan, you can work with it for the next 5 years,
Yeah.
or the next 2 years. When you have a standard plan, it's sufficient for the next three. And one of the some of my non-profit, when I reach out and said, "Hey, I hope you are doing," I said, "Yes, we're still working on our plan. We raised 200,000 last year. We just tweak it, and we want to raise 400,000. We don't need to change much. We just know what to do with on it, because they got more smart.
Right.
But some people have not been able to make use of those simple things that they can do
Right.
that can make life easy for them,
Yeah.
So when you have a plan, do you take it just like you want to go to school, or you need a consultant that will help you take a look at it? You want to build a house. You don't just go and say, "Yes, you need an architect to help you look at it and say, this is the right way, this is how to build, this is the layers, this is this work, that one." You don't just start digging somewhere and say, "Here's my building, I'm gonna move into it
I'm gonna
next
move
year."
in right now. So this is cool. I got one question here, and I'll give my tip, and then we'll be done because I did promise. Because Victoria got a lot going on. I'm so happy that she's here. So Miranda said, "How important is it that your donors align with our organization if it's religious based?"
Mm. Well, on that note, I think the first question is, do you have um conflict of interest? Do you have letters? Do you have how what do you have that can help you to understand how donor give to your nonprofit? What document do you put in place? You need to put a document in place that can help you understand. I've worked with an organization that we raised from a donor. We got like $500,000, and we have to return the money back, because by the time we look at all the company documents, they don't want to take money, from they help cancer and people patients, and they don't want to take money from organization that provide medications, for cancer, for cancer patients. That is just part of their rules. So do you put rules in place to help check the kind of donors that you have? I think that is important. And another way is to talk to the donor, let them know that this is what we do with the money you've given us. Hope that is okay with you. This is our mission. This is what we do. This is the kind of people that we serve. Our people are religious people, and this is what we do for our mission. Make sure that the donor knows that this is it, and they are okay with it, and they felt we don't have a problem with where our dollar is being spent. And again, communicates the impact of their donation. Also help them to know that their money is being spent in the right way.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to give my quick tip, and it's echoing something that you said, and it was very brilliant of you. And people don't do this quite often. It's really quick. Don't overwhelm your donors with how many people that you serve.
Mm.
No one cares. Focus that story in on one person that you made an impact on, or two people. Because as a donor, you overwhelm me. I can't help everybody,
Yeah.
but I can help that one person. So tell that person's story. And then as we go in here, Brian Party, I do not understand your question. It says, Meta, will your app do? I don't understand the question, so I would love to get it answered and get clarification on it. So put it in there and we'll come back. I'll come back to answer it. But at this point, right now, the other last question was segue into our ending is, when will we be speaking again? So that's pretty cool. People want to find you. So how do they find you on LinkedIn?
Well, it's easy. If you go on LinkedIn, the best way to find me on LinkedIn is just search for fundraising experts.
Okay.
Just search for fundraising expert, and it take you right to. I change my LinkedIn out of my name to fundraising expert. So just search for fundraising expert. And also the best way to find me on LinkedIn is go through my website, www.phillipsconsult.com. So when you go through my website, you can get my social media and also my LinkedIn. I offer tips. I have a group on LinkedIn. I offer tips, and also a lot of people screenshot some things to me. I said, "Is this okay? Is this?" And also, also tag me on some of their campaign, and I help, promote that as much as possible. So, just search for fundraising expert on LinkedIn, and it should bring you to my page on LinkedIn.
Perfect. So I think I know Brian is asking, what will the app do? Which I'm assuming is the LinkedIn app. That's a whole nother training, Brian. It can go really deep. So Victoria, we're gonna have to bring you back on this LinkedIn and go into the how to, because if I know my people, they want the how to. Give me a class, show me how to. Do you happen, and I haven't talked to you about this, but do you happen to do a how to class? I know you have the ebook, but do you happen to
Yes.
have a how to class on LinkedIn?
Yes, I have an how-to class on LinkedIn. I have that. It's all on my website. If you go to my website, philipconsult.com, I have nonprofit mentoring, and it's part of my mentoring for nonprofits. So when I meet, the first month is free, and we kind of streamline what do you want, so I help them. And a lot of people have used that opportunity to, like, we know you are LinkedIn coin and we are struggling with this. Is a 1 month free. Teach us, how do we do this?
Got it. Yeah, they will do that.
So teach
So
us, how do we do this? This is our question. So I've seen a lot of people make use of that, and I've also worked with nonprofit to have their online presence on LinkedIn grow from non no connection to a lot of connection, to 5,000 connection on LinkedIn, to 4,000 connection on LinkedIn, and pretty much that. And most of them are interested. And one thing about LinkedIn is, when you have people following you on your page, they are interested.
yes.
It's not like other social media that people follow you based on the clothes based on your behavior on social media. If you're a comedian, LinkedIn is, people follow you based on your mission, based on what you are doing and what you're talking about, and that make them potential likely board member or volunteer, or someone that will come to your events, or someone that will share about you, because they care. If you work in animal, you see people that are interested, passionate about, and following you. So I think I have how to, but it has to go through my mentoring, so that we can,
Got
like,
you.
sit down to see what is it that is most beneficial for your nonprofit. So it's all on my website. If you click on that on my website, it should take you right to me, and then you can get started on LinkedIn.
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, right now, I have taken advantage of Victoria's time for you. So, let's go. I will leave you with this. Your mission matters and deserves to be highlighted in the community. Your mission matters and can be an inspiration to those who need it the most. Your mission matters and deserves to be funded to its fullest capacity. And I will see you on the next Sipping Tea with Sabrina on May 31st. And the guest will be Jordana Merkin, and we'll be talking about marketing plans for small nonprofits. And with that, we will see you the next time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Victoria, so much. Bye
Thank you.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye. Let me see if I can end this very cool.